This video is sponsored by and available on ProtoPlay, an alternative video hosting platform focusing on creative freedom for both content creators and viewers alike. Check it out with the link in the description below, or feel free to grab the app found on Apple and Android devices. What's good, everybody, and welcome back to our latest episode of Combat Tips. Today's tutorial is going to be focusing on the cyborg law enforcer known as Robocop. Now, of course, if there's any particular brutality you have come here to learn today, feel free to hop on down below to either the description, the timeline, or the comments where you can find timestamps to let you skip to anything I feature in today's video. And of course, should any of the controls I say be a little bit confusing to your particular platform, feel free to use this conversion guide right here, and that should allow you to take anything I say in today's video and convert it onto any platform currently hosting Mortal Kombat 11. You all know how it goes at this point. I'm of course over here on the cosmetic screen, and that is to show you that as of this video's release date, I currently have all 25 out of 25 finishers for Robocop, which means today's tutorial is going to be featuring 11 different brutalities. At this point, it's of course become classic that we start with the classic. But again, if there's any particular brutality you've come here to learn today, feel free to hop on down below, and those timestamps should get you where you gotta go. Alex Murphy on the scene today to show us exactly how the classic is done, folks. Let's get into it. Remember for this particular brutality that you do not want to block an attack during the final round. And to clarify, the final round is either going to be rounds 2 or 3, whichever round you as a player are going to be victorious on. Beyond that, you simply need to finish your opponent with an uppercut, and while that uppercut is happening, hold either Y or triangle on your respective controller. Down Y or down triangle should get you pop your uppercut, folks. Something I like to clarify with the classic, as you can see here, we are on round 2. This is going to be my victorious round, and boom, I've just hit the block button. However, we can still do this brutality because I've not actually taken damage while blocking. So just keep that in mind. If you happen to be a little reflexive like me and hit that block button, just make sure you don't take damage while you're doing it, and try to just get your finger off there ASAP. But that's really all there is to this one, folks. Remember, just do not block any damage on the final round, finish your opponent with an uppercut, and hold either Y or triangle during that uppercut. Oof. And that should be your final result right there. Next up, we have the Kase Closed brutality. Now for this one, you're going to want to finish your opponent with a towards throw, and while that's happening, push down at least 3 times, or as I always suggest with brutalities like this, spam down as quick as you can. So for that towards throw, simply walk towards your opponent and tap either L1 or left button, and there you go. We got our towards throw. Oof. Arcade style players, same thing. Walk towards the opponent, square and X at the same time, or X and A at the same time, and again, boom, you should still get your towards throw. Simple enough, folks. Just finish your opponent with that towards throw while pushing down at least 3 times, or as I suggest, just spam down till it gets going. Let's go for it. Spamming down. Oof. Rough.
I uphold the law.
So it's been a while since I've seen the movies, but I'm pretty sure this brutality is a direct reference to Alex Murphy's own death in Robocop 1. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think that was the animation that takes place there. Very cool fan service either way. I really like this one. It's just so brutal, slow, drawn out. It's just as dramatic as it was in the movie, so very well done. Our next brutality is called Don't Count on It, Chum. For this one, you simply got to finish your opponent with a back throw, and while that's happening, mash either X and Y or square and triangle rapidly on your respective controller. Back throw, even easier than a towards throw. Simply tap L1 or left button, boom, and as long as you have no directional inputs, by default, it'll always be a back throw. The same, of course, goes for the arcade style inputs, square and X or X and A at the same time, boom, no directions needed, oof, and you should still get your back throw. When it comes to mashing X and Y or square and triangle, a lot of people will use their thumb. If that works for you, perfect, stick with it. However, if you find you're having trouble, maybe you're not doing it quick enough, you can take your pointer and middle fingers and put those on your buttons respectively, and having 2 buttons going at once seems to help guarantee brutalities like this work. So if it helps, have at it. Pretty simple, folks. Remember, just finish your opponent with that back throw while mashing X and Y or square and triangle. Let's go for it. Mashing my 2 buttons. Oof.
Thank you for your cooperation.
This one's awesome. Super brutal, super messy. I mean, what more can I say? He just goes clunking in with the riot shield, and you think that's going to be it, and then he finishes up the torso with an extra follow-up explosive. Very gruesome. Next up, we have That One Time. For this one, all you got to do is finish your opponent with the riot shield, and while that's happening, make sure to hold forward. Now, the riot shield should be down back Y or down back triangle, and it'll give you not much, and that's because you actually have to hold either Y or triangle on your respective controller, and that should give you the actual extended riot shield. Based on that setup, you've probably guessed by now that this is of course a parry, meaning we want to go ahead and pull out that shield, get hit, and that should be the animation you're looking for. Simple enough, my friends. Just finish your opponent with that riot shield parry and make sure to hold forward while you do it. Let's go for it.
Halt.
Right in the head.
I uphold the law.
There's actually a slight variation to this one, however, if you go up against a male opponent. Let me show you that right now. Who better to experiment on than our raggedy looking clone? Same thing for this one, folks. All you gotta do is use the riot shield parry, hold forward. The only difference this time is that our opponent is male. Let's go for it.
Halt.
So as you can see, unfortunately for the boys, you're going to be losing a different head. Our next brutality is called You're Coming With Me. You will require the terminal strip ability if you want to do this particular brutality, so as usual, have that good to go, and we can proceed. Thankfully, we have some pretty simple criteria. All you got to do is finish your opponent with that terminal strip ability, and while that's happening, push forward at least 3 times, or, as I suggest with brutalities like this, spam forward as fast as you can. So the terminal strip is going to be forward, down, back, Y, or forward, down, back, triangle, and it should give you, oof, that right there. But it's that simple, folks. Just finish your opponent with that terminal strip ability and make sure to push forward at least 3 times, or as I will forever suggest, spam forward. Let's go for it. Pushing forward. Oh. Ooh. Shanked in the gut and then just roasted like a shish kebab at the end. Ooh wee. I like this one just because it's a very unique animation, and there's just something so brutal about, you know, being burned alive, and I don't know, being stuck on the end of the spike just makes it all the worse. You can't run, you can't flee, you can't stop, drop, and roll. Very, very brutal. I mean, it fits the term. Very cool. Our next brutality is called Thank You for Not Smoking. For this one, you're going to want to make sure your final hit comes from an amplified straight auto 9 ability from some distance away while holding either X or square on your respective controller. So by itself, the straight auto 9 should be back forward X or back forward square. And there you have it. Now if you tap R1 or right button just as that bullet is leaving the chamber, you can actually amplify this ability like so. And that's what it should look like. Now when it comes to our distance, I find if you are right up against the opponent and do a single backdash, boom, you are what the game will consider some distance away. That sums this one up though, folks. Get at least this far away from your opponent and then finish them with the amplified straight auto 9 ability while holding either square or X on your respective controller. Let's go for it. Oh.
I uphold the law.
Sweet and simple. Next up is the Need to Comply brutality, and this one will require that you have the arm crowd control cannon ability, so of course, have that good to go, and we'll move on. So for this brutality, it does say that your final hit must come from the amplified arm crowd control cannon, but I do want to note now, from my experimentation, as of this video's release date, you can actually use the normal version as well. You do not have to amplify it if you don't want to. Both will work. Beyond that, though, Despite which one you choose, you want to make sure that you are some distance away from the opponent and holding either Y or triangle on your respective controller while this is going down. So the arm crowd control is going to be back forward Y or back forward triangle. And there you go. If you would like to amplify this ability, all you have to do is tap R1 or right button just as the cannon is firing, and as you can see, you'll get a stronger shot. Additionally, if you choose, while amplifying this ability, you can hold either Y or triangle, and as you can see again, actually delay the rocket. So, up to you. You do not have to amplify at all if you do not want to, but feel free to. Now, I find that some distance away for this brutality is once again a single backdash away from the opponent, and that should be the minimum distance this brutality works for you. That about sums this one up though, folks. Finish your opponent with that arm crowd control cannon, amplified if you'd like, from some distance away, or at least this far as you can see here. And last but not least, make sure to hold either Y or triangle on your respective controller, and all together, it should give you that right there. I like this because it just leaves that comedic little corpse behind. The way like the head lands between the legs and just stands up, it almost looks like its own weird new creature that you might even see somewhere in the nether realm, but I digress. Another cool brutality. This next brutality is called Your Move, Creep. For this one, you're going to want to finish your opponent with the Cobra Assault Cannon from some distance away while holding backwards. Now that Cobra Assault Cannon should be back forward Y or back forward triangle. Beautiful. Once again, they want us to be some distance away from the opponent. From my experience, all you got to do for this particular one is at least one backdash away from the opponent, and that should have you at a minimal distance to do this brutality. So remember, finish your opponent with that Cobra Assault Cannon from at least this far away while holding backwards, and all together you should get that right there. Even more of a mess than the last one we just saw. What more could you ask for? Let's Step Outside is the name of our next brutality. For this one, you will require the Trick Shot ability. So, of course, have that good to go. We can get going. Not too different than some of these previous brutalities we've just performed. Simply finish your opponent with that Trick Shot ability from some distance away while holding either X or square on your respective controller. So the Trick Shot's going to be down back X or down back square, and there you have it, a very flashy and cool, unique move. Once again, some distance away, in my experience, is a single backdash away from the opponent. Boom, and that is the minimal distance to do this brutality. So let's finish our opponent with that Trick Shot from some distance away while holding either X or square on a respective controller, and
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
That's your result. I love the confusion to this one, and again, it's called Trick Shot for a reason. Bounces all over the place before actually hitting the opponent. Really awesome. Next up, we have the Air Control brutality. And for this one, you will require the aerial OCP charge. So, of course, have that good to go, and we can move on. For this one, you do need to finish your opponent with that aerial OCP charge with both you and the opponent in the air while holding forward. Now that aerial OCP charge should be back forward A or back forward X while you are, of course, in the sky, and that's what we're looking for right there. Now, while it is true you can actually hit your opponent with this ability while they're on the ground, like so, I find the brutality will not trigger like that. In fact, both of you must be up in the air, and boom, you're gonna have to hit them like that. So that should sum this one up though, folks. Remember, just finish your opponent with that aerial OCP charge with both of you up in the sky and hold forward. Let's go for it.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Somehow that obliterated them even more than like the explosives. It's crazy, but I don't know. It's just like, it works perfect for Devora because it looks like it's just a bug got splattered all over the area, so I really like this one. Our final brutality for today, folks, is called Keeping the Peace. For this one, you simply want to finish your opponent with that directive classified combo while holding backwards. Now, the directive classified combo should be forward B and then Y, or forward circle and then triangle. Oof. And those are the results you're looking for. It's that simple though, folks. Simply finish your opponent with that directive classified combo while holding backwards. Let's go for it.
I uphold the law.
Knocked your block off. Frankly, it's quite tame compared to most of what we've seen today. I mean, I don't know what they could have done differently, though. Still pretty cool if you ask me. Maybe with that brute strength, punch the whole upper torso off. But again, that's just me trying to make more of what we already got. It is really awesome that some of these combos are getting brutalities, though. I'll always appreciate that. So that wraps up yet another tutorial, folks. And woof, we finally got Robocop out of the way. A classic indeed, an awesome character. I'm really glad he got added. It's just really cool seeing these guest characters in general being more of a, I guess, you know, classic action movie style as opposed to the previous game, which was more horror themes and all of that. I like both, don't get me wrong, but I do like to see some change, so it's nice that they tried to go with a different variety this time around. But make no mistake, if NetherRealm ever wanted to get into, say, making some sort of horror fighter, or even just a huge, like, you know, WB related combat type game, that would be awesome. I have heard rumors that may even be in the plans of a Smash style WB licensed game. Maybe we'll see Scorpion fighting Shaggy, fighting Gandalf, fighting Batman down the line. Who knows? That would be super cool, though. Big shout out to everyone who voted in the last poll, though. As you can see, the majority got their win. Robocop is our current tutorial, but of course, I will be putting out a new tutorial poll in the coming days, so please do check that out and feel free to participate if you want to at least have some sort of sway as to who comes next. Many thanks to ProtoPlay for sponsoring yet another video. If you folks want to help support the channel, feel free to hop on down below into the description where you can find my ProtoPlay link. Over there, you'll find all of these Mortal Kombat tutorial tip videos, sometimes even uploaded a day early. So, if you want to help support me, support ProtoPlay, and make sure videos like this keep coming down the line, feel free to do so. Costs nothing but a little bit of your time, and I very much appreciate it. So thank you so much. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to reflect that down below, either in the form of a like or a comment. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, feel free to subscribe so you can find out when a new video like this goes live. That's going to wrap this tutorial up, though, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, remember, vote in the next poll once it comes out if you want to help sway who comes in the next video. Until then, though, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you. And until next time, remember, folks, stay safe, stay happy. Adios.